In this video, I'm going to be going over why 90% of skinny young men that go to the gym aren't successful in the gym. They don't achieve what they want, and they really wonder why. And I'll be honest with you, it's obviously down to loads of reasons, but this is one of the main reasons, and this literally builds the foundation and the building blocks that propels you towards achieving success in the gym. And if you don't have that, you can't be propelled to where you want to go. Okay, and this is so important, and it's so simple. And you may be scratching your heads after this video, wondering, it's really that simple. Why did I not realise that? Okay, so stay till the end and I'll explain it for you. I'll try and keep it as short as possible. I don't think it'll be too long anyway. But before we get into this video, I just really want to introduce myself to you guys if you don't know who I am already. So my name is Ryan. I'm a 19-year-old from the UK, and I've undergone a physical and mental transformation over the past 3.5 years, transforming myself from this in 2021 to now in 2024. And I'm on a mission to inspire and help skinny young men who struggle with weight gain, struggle to put on muscle, and struggle to achieve success in the gym, to sculpt their physiques, to put on weight efficiently, to put on muscle efficiently, and to most importantly, achieve success in the gym. So without further ado, let's get into this video. So I have seen it in front of my eyes. I have seen skinny young men go to the gym and they stay consistent for a little while, and then they fail, and then they get into a rut, and then they just give up, and then they end up not achieving that success that they want to achieve in the gym. And they wonder why. They're always they're always stuck at scratching their heads at why they're not finding this success in the gym. And they find themselves, as I said, in the first few months they stay really consistent, they go up to the top, and then they find themselves going back down, and they wonder why that is, and they wonder why they give up so easily, and they wonder why they go from feeling on top of the world to feeling like they're in the bottom of hell, right? And they're stuck in the oscillation of going up and going down and going up and going down and going up and going down. It's like they're hitting the ceiling and they're bouncing back off the floor, and then they hit the ceiling and go down, and then they bounce back up from the floor, and then they hit the ceiling, and this oscillation is just ongoing, and they can't seem to get out of it, and they don't have this thing that will propel them towards achieving success in the gym, and it will be that internal drive, and it will light up that internal fire inside them in order to go and achieve that success and do whatever it takes. Okay, so the thing that I'm talking about that you guys need to have in order to propel you to success in the gym is to have a goal and a meaning. And so basically what I'm talking about is you've got to have a goal in place, and you've got to set yourself goals in the gym. And this is so important because life without a goal is chaos, if you didn't know it already. If you want to try something and if you want to become successful but you don't have a goal or anything to work towards, then the likelihood of you becoming confused, lost, demotivated, and doubt creeping in, and you questioning yourself at why am I actually doing this, all of those things, the chances of them happening is going to become a lot higher. Therefore, the chances of you returning to your rut and giving up or whatever you're doing, and in this context, in the gym and as a skinny young man gaining muscle, is going to be a lot higher you giving up, right? Because you don't have anything to work towards. Therefore, you don't have a meaning behind it and a purpose behind it. Therefore, you're going to be asking yourself, as I said, what are you doing this for? You've got to know what you're doing this for, otherwise it's not going to work out for you. If you wanted to start a business, for example, but you had no goal and no meaning, no purpose behind actually starting it, the chances of you actually like being motivated to become successful in what you're doing is going to be very low, because obviously we all want to do something we enjoy in life, right? So the chances of that are being very low, and yeah, the chance of that not happening and not being successful with that business is going to be likely, because you don't have any interest in it and you don't have a goal, therefore you don't have a meaning and a purpose behind it. So yeah, the chances of it not working is going to be a lot higher. So it's so important you have a goal, and therefore you have a meaning and a purpose which drives you. And I just want to go over an example of why finding meaning in your life is so important. So I read this book by Viktor E. Frankl, and it's called A Man's Search for Meaning. I'd highly suggest this book. It's an absolutely fantastic book. It's an amazing read. So it's a mind opener, right? And it's basically talking about the author and his experiences when he survived 4 concentration camps in World War Two. I've already gone through this book in another video, but I just want to go through it again. So he talks about a concept and an overview of how optimists die first, and that's not about the whole book. That's just about a little bit. So he talks about how optimists die first, right? So in the concentration camp, as we know, the conditions are disgusting. They're horrible. They degraded humans to the lowest possible level. So obviously, everyone wanted to escape and go back to their normal lives. And in 1 year, I'm assuming that, well, no, I'm not assuming, in the book, he talked about how so many people in the camp had hopes and they had a purpose for actually staying alive because they thought they were gonna get let out by Christmas or New Year's of a year, right? I don't know what year it exactly is. I have to read it again, but they had hopes of escaping by a certain time, right? And that's what kept them alive. That was their meaning, and that was their purpose. Behind staying alive, because they literally had nothing, and as I said, they were degraded to the lowest possible rank of like just mankind and in society. They literally had no power, no physical capabilities. They were literally skeleton skinny, and they had nothing to go for, right? And this was their only meaning behind staying alive. And then when it came to that time, most obviously they weren't going to escape, and they were going to stay trapped in there. And once they knew that, and once them days went past, the mortality rate and the death rate in the camp apparently skyrocketed. And this is because the meaning and the purpose that they had for their life was solely staying alive because they thought they were going to escape. And when they realised that they weren't going to escape, they let go of their sole meaning and their sole purpose in their life. Therefore, they let go of everything, they lost hope, and as I said, they had zero physical capabilities, which just led to everyone just letting go and dying. And that's why the death rate went up in the camp so much. So it's so important that you actually have a meaning in your life, otherwise the chance of you giving up, and in this example, I mean, it talks about how people die. So basically, in in what I'm talking about in terms of having a meaning and a goal in the gym, if you don't have a meaning, you're probably going to give up, right? Because you don't have anything to actually do it for, therefore you're going to let go, okay? So it's so important that you have a goal and you have a meaning, because if you have a goal and you have something to work towards, that gives you a meaning to go to the gym and drag yourself even on the days where you don't want to, which separates people from becoming successful and not becoming successful. Now, I will give you guys an example of what the gym means to me when I first started, and a goal which gave me a meaning to go to the gym, which led to me being consistent, which is really hard to gain in the early stages, which has led to me being here now, okay? So, first of all, on the 27th of January 2021, that was the exact date I started. And the reason I remember that date is because the thing that stimulated me trying to start the gym actually happened. So, on the 27th of January, I was having dinner with my family, and my mum pinched my bicep and actually managed to get her fingers around my bicep. And obviously, to give some background, right, my mum used to be a Commonwealth Games athlete for Great Britain, and she's like 25 years of personal training experience, so she knows her stuff. She's been an athlete for a very long time, national gymnast, all of that stuff. And I think she was sort of implying something to me, right? I've been sporty for my whole life, but I think she was implying something to me because I was injured and I wasn't really doing anything. So that stimulated me and that triggered me to go into my garage. You've got a little home set up in the garage to do some bicep curls and some abs. I had no idea what I was doing, but I just wanted to do something, right? And my goal that I had was to make sure that A, she didn't do that again, and B, to get stronger than my mum, because at the time my mum was actually stronger than me. And I remember like a lot of mates at school, like not taking, well, they were taking a piss a little bit because yeah, my mum was literally stronger than me. Her 1 rep max on bench press is 65 kilos, and obviously I couldn't do that before. I weighed 51 kilos. I was very skinny. As I was saying, yeah, obviously she could pinch her fingers around my biceps, so I was skinny and I couldn't do that. So I set that goal, and that's what dragged me to the gym every day, even at the start. And that's what gave me a purpose and a meaning behind it. And obviously that goal provided that, and that's what has propelled me to finding success in the gym. And obviously, once I achieved those goals, once I got big enough to the point where my mum couldn't do that anymore on my bicep, and once I got to the point of where I got stronger than my mum, I had to set myself new goals. So it's so important that you set yourself new goals. And you often see so many people, once they've achieved their initial goal, they fall off. Once they achieve like 100 kg bench, for example, they fall off because they have nothing else to work towards and they have no other meaning and other purpose behind it. So, for example, I set myself, after I bettered a 65 kilo bench, which was my mum's 1 rep max, I set myself the goal of achieving 100 kg on bench, or I set myself the goal of achieving a certain weight on the bulk. And I had something to work towards which kept me motivated. And even on days where I wasn't motivated and I didn't want to go to the gym, I still dragged myself into the gym, and my mind was in control of my body, and I told myself I want to achieve this that bad. And I had a reason, and I had a purpose, and I had a goal that I had to achieve, and I had to get on with achieving and working towards. So that dragged me to the gym, and that is why I have gained, gained success I have today, right? Because I've kept setting myself goals, and I have I have meanings, and I have a purpose behind going to the gym, and why I love going to the gym so much. I just want to give you guys a really quick example of this whole thing, okay? So I think this might put it into perspective for you if you don't understand what I'm talking about, right? So obviously millionaires, businessmen, really successful men in life, they have something to work towards, they have a goal, therefore they have a meaning and a purpose behind what they do. Therefore, when they don't feel like going to the office or going to the desk to do work for the day, they have to. They drag themselves and their mind, they let their mind control their body, and they do what their mind tells them to do, which the mind knows what's right to do. They drag themselves and they do the work, and that is why they're successful. And they get really successful, and often when you have enough money to retire at a young age, people retire at a young age. Therefore, they let go of their work life and they think their life is going to be absolutely amazing. But what actually happens a lot of the time is millionaires and people that retire early can get a little bit depressed, and they enter a little bit of a rut. And this is because they don't have anything to work towards. They don't have a goal, therefore they don't have a purpose, or they don't have a meaning. Therefore they can get depressed and they can get in a rut and completely let themselves go. And they have no purpose and no meaning in life. So it's so, and in relation to this example with the gym, um, that's basically talking about if you don't have a goal or a meaning, you're probably going to give up, right, as I was saying earlier. So it's so important that you have a goal which provides a meaning and a purpose in life. And remember what I was talking about this book and the concentration camp example of the mortality rate going up because everyone no longer had a meaning or a purpose. That literally correlates to, I mean, it doesn't necessarily correlate because this is ridiculously extreme, but it relates to how if you don't have a goal and a purpose and a meaning in the gym, you're probably going to quit. So I hope that clears it up for you, and that is the end of the video. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time, and I really hope I've taught you something today about how a goal and having a meaning and a purpose behind something is really important if you want to achieve long-term success, and ensuring that you don't re-enter and return to the rut you've previously been in. And you want to break that oscillation of going up and going down and going up and going down forever, right? So if you have enjoyed this video and learnt something, I'd really appreciate it if you drop a like, a comment and a subscription down below for more exclusive content, and it will help me reach more skinny young men, therefore I can help change more lives like yours. So without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next one. Whapa.